My son, silence your heart now, because I need to speak with you. I need you to pay attention with all your soul, because what I'm about to tell you can transform your life, spare you from unnecessary wounds, and protect you from traps that were subtly prepared along your path. There are voices in the world that do not come from me. There are words that may sound like advice, but carry the poison of unbelief, doubt, fear, and discouragement. You were created to hear my voice, to follow my steps, to walk in the light I myself prepared before you. But if you listen to the wrong voices, if you let yourself be contaminated by words not born of my spirit, you could end up far from the purpose that I lovingly designed for your life. Son, understand this with an open heart. Not everyone who speaks to you wants your good. Not everyone who approaches with smiles and promises truly wants your well-being. Some voices rise subtly, disguised as care, but carry a root of envy, bitterness, or unresolved frustration. And if you don't discern with wisdom what you hear, you could take a carefully disguised lie as truth. There are people who speak of your dreams with contempt because they gave up on their own. There are those who say it's not worth continuing only because they lack the courage to press on. Some question your faith because they've never had a real experience with my love. And there are those who try to convince you you're wrong simply because you chose to walk in truth while they chose the easier path of convenience. Son, I am your father. I know you completely. I know exactly where you are, what you feel, and what you need to hear right now. So I urge you, do not listen to negative words. Do not let them dwell inside you. Words are seeds, and every seed planted in your heart will begin to grow and bear fruit, for good or for bad. If you cultivate within you words of doubt, failure, fear, and limitation, then sooner or later your steps will begin to reflect that. You will stop in front of obstacles that I anointed you to overcome. You will retreat from doors that I myself opened with my powerful hand. You will begin to believe you are small, weak, or unworthy, when in truth I created you to reign with authority, freedom, and faith. My son, there is an invisible battlefield taking place daily in your mind. That is where the enemy acts most subtly. He doesn't always come with shouts or threats, but with suggestions. He speaks through others, through innocent comments, through advice disguised as baseless criticism. And if you forget who you are in me, those voices will begin to shape your identity. You were created in my image. You carry my spirit within you. I called you by name. I set you apart from your mother's womb. I anointed you with an eternal purpose. So why are you allowing opposing voices to have such power over your heart? Why do you believe more in the opinion of men than in the living word I already released over your life? Son, listen with reverence. No outside opinion can cancel what I have determined for your life. No criticism, no judgment, no look of contempt can annul what I wrote in my heavenly books about you. You are mine, and whoever touches you touches the apple of my eye. You are protected under my wings. I am your refuge, your shelter, your shield. And even if many rise up against you, even if the words are harsh, unjust, or ill-intentioned, remember, your identity does not come from the mouths of men, but from the heart of your Father. Son, do not seek affirmation where I never told you to look. Do not beg for approval where there is no truth. There are people who will never see who you are because their eyes are clouded by their own wounds. There are hearts that will not understand your faith because they've never tasted my presence, and that's okay. You don't need everyone to understand you. You only need to trust in me. I am the one who will justify you at the right time. I am the one who will exalt you when everyone thinks you've been forgotten. I am the one who will open doors no one can shut and place you in places critics never imagined you'd reach. Son, protect your soul. Guard your heart as one who guards a rare treasure, because what you carry within you is precious, sacred, the living promise of heaven on earth. Do not let others' bitterness penetrate you. Do not absorb words that did not come from my throne. On the contrary, nourish yourself with my word. Fill your mind with the eternal truths I myself have revealed. You are loved. You are chosen. You are anointed to overcome. And no matter who tries to discourage you, I am with you. Son, remember, even my son Jesus was despised by his own. They doubted him, mocked him, and many even tried to prevent him from fulfilling his mission. But he stood firm because his inner voice was mine. He knew my will. He knew who he was. And that is what I want you to do. Remain firm in me. Don't let the outer noise drown out the voice of your Father. Now listen to this. I have great things to accomplish through your life. You are not in this world by chance. I did not form you with perfection, preserve you until now, and guard you so many times from evil just for you to now be paralyzed by words of doubt or criticism. You were made to impact lives, to bring light where there is darkness, to speak with authority where fear reigns in silence. And for that you will need to silence many voices that try to confuse you. Son, walk with those who strengthen your faith. Surround yourself with those who pray with you, not those who mock your devotion. Entrust your intimacy to those who carry my spirit, not to those who live only to criticize. Learn to discern the fruits. Don't be fooled by appearances. Many have soft words but hardened hearts. You will recognize them by the peace or lack of it they carry. Where there is envy, constant criticism, comparison, and coldness, my spirit is not there. But where there is encouragement, humility, wisdom, and true love, there you can rest your soul. My son, I have never stopped speaking to you. And even now, as you read these words, it is I who whispers to your ears, do not fear, do not stop, do not turn back, keep walking. Your story is still being written. And now, my son, let me speak to you about something even deeper, about the silent compromises you've been tempted to make. Not the loud, obvious ones, but the subtle exchanges, moments when you traded truth for acceptance, purity for comfort, or purpose for distraction. These are the cracks the enemy waits for. He knows he doesn't need to break your foundation in one blow. He only needs to erode it slowly, one decision at a time. You must understand that the enemy rarely asks for everything at once. He only asks for a piece, a glance, a word, a decision. But what seems small today becomes a habit tomorrow, and a stronghold the day after. That's how spiritual drift happens. Not through rebellion, but through small, repeated concessions. There are choices you've been pondering that seem harmless, but I see where they lead. What begins as curiosity can lead to captivity. What feels like exploration can turn into entanglement. You don't need to test the edge of every cliff to know that the fall is real. You've prayed for clarity, and I am giving it now. Not through thunder, but through truth. If something costs your peace, if it stirs confusion, if it slowly silences your hunger for me, then it is not from me. My gifts add no sorrow. My ways are light to the soul, not burdens heavy to carry in secret. I also want to talk to you about time. Time is sacred, and you have less of it than you think. Each moment is a seed, and you've planted many without noticing the soil they fell into. Some seeds are producing thorns because they were sown in haste, in reaction, or under pressure. But I can teach you to redeem time, to recognize what must be uprooted and what deserves your full devotion. The distractions you've allowed to grow may seem like they give rest, but they are actually stealing your strength. Not all rest is restoration. Some rest is escape dressed in comfort. Rest in me is different. It renews your soul, sharpens your vision, and reminds you who you are. Seek that kind of rest. You've also been carrying responsibilities I never asked you to bear. Some of the pressure on your shoulders came not from me, but from your fear of disappointing others. You've taken on expectations that are not part of your calling. Lay them down. You are not called to impress, you are called to obey. There is a difference between doing many things and doing the right things. Busyness can feel holy, but it often hides a restless heart. I desire fruit, not frenzy. I desire faithfulness, not performance. You do not need to prove your worth to me. I already established it when I formed you. Now, my son, hear this clearly. Your private world must become your priority. What happens when no one is watching is what determines who you truly are. Integrity is not built in the spotlight, it is forged in the secret place, when choices are made without applause. If you neglect the inner altar, the outer ministry will collapse. If you prioritize public image over private devotion, you will lose both. Strength flows from stillness. Victory begins in surrender. Be careful with your eyes. What you behold, you become. If you keep gazing at the lives of others, your own will lose clarity. The lens of comparison will blur your vision until you no longer recognize the beauty of your own path. You cannot walk straight while staring sideways. I've not called you to mimic anyone. Your journey is handcrafted. Your trials, your training, your timing, they are all by design. When you envy another's position, you dishonor your own process. And if you shortcut the process, you rob yourself of the power that only comes through refinement. Let me speak to you now about relationships. Some people are in your life as assignments, others as tests. Some are bridges, others are barriers. You must pray for the discernment to know the difference. A connection may feel right, but carry the wrong spirit. Stop calling covenant what I only intended as seasonal. Some relationships are meant to teach, not to stay. Clinging to what I'm asking you to release will hinder your growth. You're not being unloving by letting go, you're being obedient. There are friendships that fed you once but are now feeding on you. There are people whose presence brings peace, and others who always leave a storm behind. Examine the pattern. I do not bring confusion where my spirit dwells. If someone consistently pulls you away from me, it's not love, it's a distraction. If you must lower your convictions to keep a connection, it's not a relationship, it's a trap. And I did not create you to live in bondage to the opinions of others. You must stop explaining your calling to people who don't carry the same spirit. Their validation is not a prerequisite for your obedience. When I call, I don't send out group invitations. I speak personally, precisely, and sometimes privately. Now hear me on this. You will face resistance, but don't confuse resistance with rejection. When you rise in obedience, you disturb atmospheres, you expose darkness, you awaken jealousy, but none of that means you're on the wrong path. It means you're making impact. If everyone agrees with your decisions, it may be because you haven't yet made the kind that challenge their comfort. I didn't call you to be popular, I called you to be set apart. And yes, there will be seasons of silence, times when it feels like I'm distant, but silence is not absence. In the silence, I'm teaching you to trust what I've already said. Faith grows not in constant noise, but in the stillness where my voice echoes. In those quiet seasons, don't rush to fill the space. Let your roots grow deeper. The deeper the root, the stronger the tree. What I'm building in you requires depth, not just height. Storms will come, and when they do, you'll stand because of what you built when no one was watching. And when I do open new doors, walk through them without apology. Don't water down your voice to make others comfortable. Don't shrink to fit into spaces I've outgrown for you. What I've placed inside you was meant to challenge, to shift, to set free. You are my vessel. But vessels don't choose where they're poured. They simply stay clean and available. Keep your heart pure, and I will place you exactly where my glory can flow through you without hindrance. Lastly, my son, do not forget joy. Joy is not a reward, it's a weapon. It disarms fear, it silences lies. It shifts atmospheres. Guard your joy. Protect it like treasure. Feed it with gratitude. Defend it with praise. And above all, stay close to me. Not through routine, but through relationship. Talk to me often. Let me be your first thought, not your last resort. I'm not just your God, I'm your Father. And I will never stop leading, correcting, strengthening, and loving you. You are not forgotten. You are not behind. You are exactly where I can shape you most effectively. Keep walking. I am with you, always.